Hey guys, it's Melanie from This Blessed Journey, and I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about a new journey that my family has begun. Mostly this journey, I won't lie, is for me. I have struggled with my weight a little bit on and off for the past 10 years. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about that. About 10 years ago, I hit my heaviest non-pregnancy weight of 187 pounds. That was really difficult for me because as a teenager, I was always the thin one that struggled to gain weight. I never had a problem with weight. And then, I found myself basically in a very depressed state in my life, and I put on weight because I was using, food as comfort. So I hit 187 pounds and decided that I wanted to make some changes. At that point, I had 2 kids. My youngest daughter was about 2 years old, and I just basically started counting calories very strictly. I ate whatever I wanted to some degree, but I counted calories. I didn't let myself go over a certain calorie count every day. I walked on the treadmill at the gym, and I did yoga. I did yoga 2 or 3 times a week. I just did these things. I also cut out a lot of sugar from my diet, and so I no longer drank sweet tea, which I'm from the South and that's kind of a big deal. I cut sugar out of my diet in the form of sweet tea. I switched from regular sodas to diet sodas because we all know those are so good for you, but it helped. And I cut out sugar in the form of sweets like chocolate chip cookies and cupcakes and all of the wonderful yummy things that I really truly love. It helped me to drop the weight though. I lost 50 pounds in the course of about 5 or 6 months, which I know that that's pretty fast, as far as a way to healthily, that's not a word, a healthy way to lose weight, but that's the only thing I did. I counted calories and I moderately exercised. For me, if I will actually put in a little bit of effort, it's not difficult for me to lose weight. The problem is that I get lazy and I want to eat things that are not good for me but taste really good, and I don't really want to exercise. And when that happens, I put on weight. I think that's pretty typical for most people. But if I will just stick to it, stick to a plan, and be disciplined, I can lose the weight. So I did. I lost 50 pounds and I was down to 137 pounds. I looked great, I looked healthy, I felt great, and everything was good. Around about that time, a couple of years after, I was able to maintain that for a couple of years actually, and then I met my now current husband, and I put on a bunch of happy weight. I got up to 169 pounds, really just eating things that I shouldn't and not exercising. When I was 169 pounds, and this is 5 years after I had originally lost that weight, okay, I got pregnant with my son, so he was my 3rd child. When I got pregnant with my son, I started out at 169 pounds, and I put on a lot of weight in that pregnancy. By the end of that pregnancy, I weighed 230 pounds, which is the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. I didn't even realize how big I was until I went back and looked at the pictures of myself, and I was astounded that I had allowed myself to get that big. During that pregnancy, I ate sugar galore. I'm surprised that I didn't get gestational diabetes. It was crazy. I ate a lot of peanut butter M&Ms, let me tell you. But I got so big, and losing that weight was really difficult. When he was about 2 years old, I was still carrying quite a bit of that weight. I was again back at my 180 pounds. That seems to kind of be the magic number for me. And I ended up getting sick. I developed some digestive issues that to this day I still don't really know what they are. I've been to doctors and no one can really explain anything. But my digestive issues made it so that I had a very difficult time keeping food in, basically. If I ate too much, it just wouldn't stay down. I have no idea. I would love if someone could explain to me what happened to my body around that time, but regardless, that's what I was looking at. I started losing a lot of weight because I just simply couldn't keep food in my stomach. My hair was falling out. My skin didn't look good. I felt disgusting and tired all the time. I had no energy. I just felt sick. I was never able to find an answer to what was wrong with me, so I really kind of just had to learn how to live with my issues. And so now I still have the same issues, but I've learned to live with it. I've learned to avoid the problems that come with overeating. I just have to eat really small meals, and I know that that's a healthy way to maintain weight anyway. But if you're eating healthy meals, but you're eating banana bread and chocolate chip cookies all the time, you're still going to gain weight. So I was heavy, and then I lost weight, and then I gained weight, and then I lost a little bit of weight, and I got down to I think about 145, 150 pounds. And then I got pregnant with my 4th child. This was, I guess about not quite 2 years ago. She's about to be 1 in 2 weeks. And during my pregnancy with her, I was still heavily struggling with issues with my digestive system. So I had the hardest time putting on weight throughout that pregnancy. I was scared my entire pregnancy that I wasn't doing enough to give her what she needed to be healthy. During that pregnancy, I only gained 8 pounds total. She was a 6-pound baby at birth. So toward the end of that pregnancy, especially when you really start to put on weight, and I wasn't, my body was literally feeding off of itself in order to keep her alive and to keep me alive. And that, it was not, I didn't enjoy that. I was pretty miserable. I was really ready to have her so that I could have my body back, but not in a way that most people would think. So I had my daughter, 6-pound baby, and that was 11 months ago, as I said. And shortly after she was born, I was back down to my pre-pregnancy weight of 145, 150 pounds, which doesn't really say much since that's what I weighed when I had her. But this past winter, I've started putting on weight, and in 1 month, I gained 10 pounds. It was just ridiculous. It's the banana bread, I'm telling you. I just had a crazy craving for it. I'm a nursing mom, and I gained 10 pounds in the month of January of this year. And I decided that this was just not okay. I didn't like the way that I felt. I knew that my body was addicted to sugar. And so I started looking into ways to kind of cut back on the sugar in my diet, and I did cut out a lot of sugar. I do still have sugar in the form of, in ketchup or in barbecue sauce. I do still occasionally eat desserts. I do still eat chocolate, but I don't binge on chocolate or on sugar the way that I did previously in my past. Okay, so fast forward to today. At this point, I am at a weight of 160 pounds. I knew that I wanted to start this new plan today or this week, and so I went ahead and weighed myself. I wanted to see my beginning weight. I'm going to be doing the Trim Healthy Mama plan. I really don't want to call this a diet because no one wants to start a diet. That just doesn't sound enjoyable at all. Diet foods typically restrict you from having certain food groups. Diet foods don't always taste good. No one wants to be on a diet. So we're going to be on the Trim Healthy Mama plan. This is a plan that my whole family will be on somewhat. I will be on this plan in the most restrictive sense. My husband will also be following the plan, but not quite as restrictive as I am because he doesn't really struggle with his weight like I do. He is going to be doing this plan to help him find some energy that he feels like he's lost. He does have a couple of pounds that he wants to lose, but the man just doesn't gain weight. So he is also going to be following the plan. My kids are going to be following the plan only in the sense that we're cutting out a huge amount of sugar that comes into our house. I don't want my kids being addicted to sugar like kids nowadays are. That's going to be really hard for them because I've never restricted them, the way that I'm about to. Now, granted, we don't live in a home where we have dessert every night or where I constantly buy sugary cereals or, My kids don't really drink sodas. If we go out to a restaurant and that's a special treat, we don't do that all the time. They're allowed to have a sweet tea or a soda there, but for the most part, my kids don't get a lot of sugar to begin with, and now they're really not going to be getting a lot of sugar, so that's going to be an adjustment for them. But kids burn fuel at a different rate or a different way than we do, which is one of the things that I'm learning about in this book, and so I won't be really restricting a lot of the things that they eat. They will still be able to eat from all of the food groups at each meal. I will be switching out some of our meals, switching out pastas. Instead of buying traditional pasta, I will be buying low-carb pasta, and they won't know the difference. But that will be primarily for my benefit and my husband's benefit. They won't know the difference. Anyway, so my whole family is starting out on this plan. Some of the things that I'm going to be sharing here on my channel are updates. I want to get on here and share updates on my weight, updates on how I'm feeling on this plan. Do I feel tired? Do I feel energized? Do I feel happy? Does it make me feel depressed? All of those things. I want to be real with you guys and myself about this process and about this journey. I want to be able to share my struggles because I am not a fake person. I pride myself on being very transparent. And when I started looking for information on the Trim Healthy Mama plan, I didn't find a lot of people on YouTube that were sharing their journey. I did find some, let me be clear about that. But I didn't find a lot, and I just figured, maybe that I can help someone else out along this, someone who's looking for real information as far as how could this potentially affect me. So I am going to be sharing updates on my weight and my moods and so forth. I also am going to be sharing grocery hauls because my grocery hauls, although there's only been one uploaded to this channel, the groceries coming into our house are going to look quite different than they did before. So my kids are not looking forward to that, but you know what? It's for their best health, and they don't have to understand that right now. One day when they're older, they will thank me, I hope. And then I also want to share recipes. There are so many recipes in this book, on Pinterest, on the Facebook page that are shared. There are recipes galore. You can also take your own family's favorite recipes and adapt them to fit the needs of this plan. So I'm hoping that when my family finds some recipes that we really enjoy, that I can share that with you guys and say, hey, this was really a hit. This was a success. You should give it a try. Last night we had chicken quesadillas. They were phenomenal. Everyone in my family was raving about how good they were, and they were so easy. They were completely on plan, and I was totally pumped that that went over so well. So basically that's it. We are starting this journey. Well, we've technically already started this journey. I'm really excited to continue reading. I have only made it this far into this book, Chapter 13. There is still so much more to learn, but I didn't want to wait until I had finished this entire 600-page book to start feeling better. So I feel like I've gotten enough information that I can kind of start. If I have questions, I can look them up in the book. This book is not, it's a huge book. Let me say that right now. A large portion of it is recipes, but not a large portion of it is not. It's a very complex subject. Not in the way that you pick up this book and you start reading and you think to yourself, I don't understand a word that they're saying. It's all researchy. It's not all researchy. That is not a word. But when you think about the way that our bodies work, and it's a very complex subject to try to learn about. But I think they do a wonderful job of explaining it, and I personally love the philosophy of eating what God intended for us to eat and not eliminating entire food groups. God put all of these food groups here for us. Why would we completely eliminate them? Why not just figure out how to eat them in the proper way and be healthy in the process? So far, I've loved this book. I love Serene and Pearl. I think that it's just phenomenal what they have stumbled upon. So I've really enjoyed it. I have a lot more learning to do. I know that this is going to be a learning process and that I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but I'm here to document the whole thing and share it with you guys. So I hope that you will follow along, and I hope that this gives some inspiration to someone who feels like they need some inspiration. If you've just reached a point where you're tired of feeling sick and tired and you want to feel better, I recommend that you try the Trim Healthy Mama plan. Like I said, I just started reading it. I've only been eating this way for a couple of days, but so far I have yet to feel like I'm eating diet food. So until the next update, which hopefully will be in the next, I think I'm going to do 2-week updates. Tomorrow I will have a grocery haul. Until then, I hope you are very well, and I hope you are all very blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!